Hello and welcome to Mike Dunn Film Reviews. I am Mike Dunn, and today I'm going to be talking about the newest phenomenon to hit our UK shores from our good friend the United States, and that is the Hunger Games, which is released soon. I've recently seen the Hunger Games, and I couldn't help but make the comparison to a film that is quite special to me and opened my eyes to Asian cinema, which is Battle Royale. Both the Hunger Games and Battle Royale share a common storyline, and I think that the Hunger Games owes a great deal of gratitude to Battle Royale, so I couldn't help but notice the similarities, and I thought I'd bring that up in this review and show why it's influenced me, in my opinion, of the Hunger Games. Both the Hunger Games and Battle Royale concern a group of 24 or so teenagers who are put in a very dangerous situation at the will of the local government and forced to kill each other for television amusement, pretty much. The Hunger Games takes place about 100 years in the future or so, after a nuclear war or an uprising by the working class and the lower class against the government. As punishment for this, after the government wins against the uprising, the population is separated into 12 districts where the former United States was, and two teenagers are selected from these districts, put into this arena, and forced to kill each other in a 12A film. Battle Royale, on the other hand, is an 18 certificate film in which a group of Japanese teenagers are randomly selected and put onto an island in about 5 or 10 years in the future, just because they've become unruly, and they're forced to kill each other in various amount of ways, and it's gruesome and horrific and really did open my eyes to Asian cinema. Whereas the Hunger Games fails to really show the brutality of such a situation. Fair enough, it throws the kids into a really tough situation, but it spends most of its time setting up the film and introducing you to the characters and getting you to know them and getting you to know the situation. And whereas Battle Royale just basically shows you the kids, brief backstory through flashbacks every now and again, but it mainly just throws you into the action, shows you them killing each other pretty much straight away, and just shocks you and grabs your attention and keeps you there for the rest of the entire film. Whereas the Hunger Games takes its time, plods along for about an hour or so, and then finally the Hunger Games start and it's over quicker than a flash. That's the main problem I had with this film, was that with the Hunger Games, was that it took too long in setting up the scenario and showing you the characters, when it could have just been easily done within 20 minutes or so. Jennifer Lawrence plays the main character of Katniss, and Josh Hutcherson plays Peter, the two kids from District 12, who seems to be, what seems to be the lowest of the social strata in the districts. It goes from District 1, who's actually quite good, to District 12, where they're pretty scummy, and they're not really associated with the glamorous folk, let's just say that. And after they get chosen, they get taken to the capital, which is like in the middle of all the districts, and you're shown the higher classes and how they're all like dressed in neon pink and neon blue with crazy hairstyles, incredibly whitened teeth. And the whole film just feels too alien, and the fact that it's set 100 years in the future, I'm sure, is just, obviously it's keeping with the book and keeping with the scenario of the novel, but because of its alien nature, I just didn't relate to it at all. I didn't really feel for the characters. I sympathised with the main Katniss character, because she has to sacrifice herself so that her sister doesn't go into the games instead of her. But when it comes to Battle Royale, they just seem like ordinary teens from your current time, and therefore you empathise with them straight away, and you feel, oh dear Lord, I couldn't do that if I was put into that situation. Whereas these kids in the future pretty much know that every year there's going to be a Hunger Games, and they can prepare for it, and they understand what needs to happen, and it's not that big of a shock to them. Fair enough, it's a big of a shock if they're chosen, but the fact that it exists and the rules of the games, you'd think they'd know, and it appears on the TVs in front of them, so they understand the concept of the show, and yet they're taken through the entire rigmarole of understanding what the games are about, just for the audience to understand as well. But Battle Royale doesn't really have that. It just has a brief little introduction video and it's just thrown in there, and you're with the characters. You're like, oh God, right? What the hell do I do? How do I react? How do I kill my best friends, my schoolmates, my people that I've grown up with? Whereas this is just you with 23 or 22 other strangers, and you're forced to kill them, and you don't really have, well, I didn't anyway. I didn't have that kind of connection with the characters, and I wanted to. I wanted to feel for them. I wanted to worry about them, but all the way through, I was just thinking, well, you gave us all this setup, but you didn't answer all my questions. You gave us a little few plot points, like it's all set up in an arena that's like the Truman Show's like own little world, where they can just create fires like that or change the weather, and the whole outdoor arena is controlled. So you've got the feeling that they're against them as well. It's not just the fact that they're in a tough situation like Battle Royale, people on an island having to deal with nature as well. They're dealing with other people trying to kill them as well when the show's getting too boring. And it just, I don't know, a lot of the time they were just creating rules out of nowhere, and I was like, wait, hang on, you're changing the rules halfway through. I've just gotten my head around the actual idea of it now. And yeah, I didn't really appreciate the ways it was different from Battle Royale, obviously because it was trying to keep to the storyline of the books, and I'm pretty sure that seems to be its undoing. Only the fact that it's a 12A, like the camera cuts away when people are getting killed, and yet you see actual people having their necks broken and getting stabbed. Just like it's all like with no audio, so you're just seeing everything. But for a 12A, that's pretty gruesome. Fair enough if you're having the same storyline with Battle Royale as an 18, you can see everything that happens and you understand what's going to happen, and you understand it's a very 18 situation. For a 12A, if you're taking an 8-year-old in to see this film, you're going to see 23 deaths of kids. All I'm saying, parents, is don't be surprised if you take your 8-year-old to see this film and they can't sleep that night for fear of their schoolmates turning on them, and it's not a 12A storyline. It's an 18 storyline, which Battle Royale understood and used better. But I understand where the critics are like fawning over this film, saying that it's a really well-made film, and the director does a good job, the actors do a good job, especially Woody Harrelson and Lenny Kravitz. To my surprise, that he came out with such good acting chops. But yeah, I personally didn't like it just because I thought Battle Royale treated the storyline better. But to those people who haven't seen Battle Royale, or to those people who just take it on its own merits, I salute you and I envy you, because it just spoiled my watching of the film, really. And yeah, my enjoyment was soiled just because of my comparative thing in my head. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to make a lot more money than John Carter did. So it's going to be around for long to come, with 2 more films coming out as well. So hopefully it'll make some good buzz. But that's just my 2 cents. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.